tonight for this reason, besides feeling naked without it. She was one Templar, sure, barely armored at all, but the Aedian crest on the chest plate made people, not think, maybe, but at least stop before they did something stupid. It had been a generation since the accords with the Vakari Protectorate, and anyway, Gaer was 5 tribes from the friendly side of the Vakari front. There shouldn't be trouble at all, and he shouldn't need her or any Templar playing escort. But truth? Come on. He was one Vakar on a Tenju seed world in the galactic hinterlands. Might as well float a hollow target over his head, walk around saying, "Express your prejudice here." Iari put her hand on her own jacta to make sure no one else grabbed it, because no way she'd fire a weapon in here, and broke a trail through the bar. Another advantage of that armor, people moved for her too. Expressions shifted. Curiosity for a Templar, where was she going? Devolving into a twist of distaste for Gaer. Oh, elements, is that a Vakar, really? A little fear, for her or for Gaer, maybe both. At least one wet-eyed admirer of the Aegis. And then out, finally, past the bouncer, into a late autumn night wet with late autumn rain. She couldn't hear any screaming now. Just the gush of full gutters, and the sound bleed out of the club following them into the puddles. Gaer tilted his head one way, then the other. Rain beaded on the long ridges running from his jawline along the length of his skull. Vakari ears were somewhere under that bone.
"You know, if you wanted to leave, you could have just said."
"Told you, I heard something." She kicked into a jog, slipped in a slick of Ptah knew what at the corner, caught herself in the next stride. It was all empty streets out here, but a few streets away there was a glow on the low-slung clouds that didn't look like street lamp Teslas. Looked almost like the flicker of a house fire, but the color was wrong. Fire was orange. This was white. Blue. Looked cold, but Iari knew better. Ptah had many facets. All of the elements did. The fire that warmed also burned. The plasma that powered the void ships and made the stars could also liquefy metal and sublimate flesh. And when you took that plasma and bound it with arithmetic hexes and shoved it into a weapon, you got white fire, which didn't stop for rain or void, burned blue, and was entirely illegal except for Templars and Confederate troops and very special permits. The size of the glow and the brightness, and experience with both, told Iari its origin was maybe a block ahead, a sharp right at the corner, and they were rapidly covering that distance. Probably where the screams had come from. No, definitely. Gaer pulled up beside her, those long Vakari legs finding a path over puddles.
"That's white fire."
"Yeah, I know."
"There are peacekeepers to handle this."
"People down here don't always call. PKs won't always answer. You're armed, right?" She knew he was. Treaty legal monofill and sidearm jacta fully visible, where treaty said they should be. Arithmancy, less visible, more dangerous. Sssst. Take that as a yes. Stay behind me. Iari wished for her shield and her helmet and her axe, and then charged the rest of the way up the street, into the acrid breeze and the white fire glow. No one was shooting now. Someone had been, with a white fire projectile. There were hot spots on the walls where stone still glowed. Big holes, big weapon. This was an old part of the city where they used Chama's bones for building. Everything since the Accords was plascrete and polysteel, hexed against arson and accident. Hexes might not stop white fire. Not much did. A single lump of something burned in the street. Pavement had softened around it, cupping what appeared to be part of an arm, maybe? A very small arm. It was hard to see much detail in full night, without moons or stars or much illumination than the Tesla streetlights. Gaer would see more with that optic. Gaer would see...